Cancer.
Hello Cancer, this is your forecast for August 2015, your astrological forecast. And I want to say hi to all my favorite people out there, and that just makes me feel like a mother is saying that all her children are her favorites. The thing is though, you are part of that favorite crowd. Why? Because you Cancerians, you bring so much to the table. So much heart, so much feeling, so much intuition, so much higher truth. You are truly true to yourselves and what is important to you and your families, your children, your pets, all of those things. You're from the heart. Now this month for you Cancer, we have this whole party going on. There's a big crowd in your financial house. And some of you are going to love that. Why? Because it's going to help you dynamically focus on how can you improve this area of your life. We have the Sun, we got Mercury, we got Venus, Jupiter, and the new moon. The new moon, you won't have that for another full year before it's going to come back around and revisit this place. That will be August 14th. So this is the time to write out that abundance check to yourself. Now I do get questions, and I might as well address it here. The questions of what do we do with the check afterwards? Well, once you get to that full moon, you can just rip it up and let it go. All right, because then it's already put the energy, the focus of your higher mind out to the universe. So full moon, we just tear it up. Some of you might want to hang on to it until the next full new moon. You can do that too. Anyhow, it's just a trigger to help you focus on your intentions for income. Now this month, the new moon being in your financial house, it's a double whammy effect. So do not forget to write it August 14th. Now, that being said, I see how you're going to be reflecting on where you've been, what you've been bringing in, where your money has been going out. So right now, it's all those checks and balances. It's all your creative thoughts of how can you now start attracting more income streams. And I see you being really creative with this. And I'll tell you also why, because you're having extra support. You're so lucky, Cancer, because why? Having this party going on in the second house. Now, Saturn has been here in the fifth house. Now, yes, it has been squaring, and it has been retrograde for the last 4 to 5 months. So you might have felt that things have slowed down. Your creativity may not have been all up to spiff. But now Saturn on August the 2nd, the 2nd, is going to be moving forward. Not that it picks up quantum speeds right away. It's a little slow, but at least he's not going backwards. So you will have Saturn here to help you focus on this area. And Saturn being in the fifth house has to do with your creativity. So you'll start seeing the awakening once again take place from the subconsciousness and the higher mind of how you can bring down to earth and manifest, because that's what Saturn does. It brings things into being. It gives us the physical body, so to speak. So you will see how this now, even though it's squaring your second house, squares aren't always just stress and difficulties. But what it does, it brings situations to our attention so that we need to focus. So there might be a trigger or two that will be the, oh my God, I really need to look at this. But let that be your friend, because if it hadn't been for the trigger, you may just allow this month to come and go, and you've lost a whole year's opportunity to make the most out of it. The Sun comes here once a year. We'll spend several weeks. Mercury comes around once a year. This is the time it's there. Now you have the blessing of Jupiter, which is only in your financial house once every 12 years, okay? So you have actually been focusing and growing this, expanding this area since that of summer last year. Now it's concluding its journey on August 11th. She is moving out into the third house, and that's where you're going to be paying attention of how to expand your life. Third house having to do with travel, both short distance and long distance. Third house is short distance journeys, but having Jupiter there, you might start feeling the itch to actually go and visit the pyramids or going to Machu Picchu, some long distance, far away place. But I feel for you, it will probably tie into something of the past, the history, either to places of your childhood, that's the past, which is important to you, or where you were as a teenager, but it's also the ancient past, because you are a Cancerian, you love history. You know, if you could time travel back to the past, that's where you would go. So, yeah, you'll see how that's definitely going to be on your chart and menu here until that of late next summer of 2016. Mars right now here in July, throughout your birth month, you have noticed how Mars has been activating you. You've kicked into action more. That's what Mars does. And it's still in your first house. The Sun has moved out of that area here as we enter into August. But you will still feel the activation of Mars really speeding you up, okay? You got things to do, places to go. There's no procrastination. I feel that your schedules can be very full for now, the things that you would like to work with and work on, which is all very good. I like that, and I know that you're going to like it. Now, we do have children. Let's talk about that for a moment, because Saturn having been retrograde in this area of children, now moving forward, I see how you're going to be focusing on perhaps the changes going on with them. And being a Cancerian parent, you're extra, not saying that other parents aren't close to their children, because all parents are, but for you, it's more, even more so. You know, you're always thinking about security and so forth. And some of you, having Saturn here, might be going through the, oh my God, here comes the empty nester period of my life. Some of you will be waving goodbye to your children, going out to college. And so this will be something that I see will be a spiritual experience. But I'm also seeing how perhaps also you looking into the financial aspect, since you have all that second house energy going on with your finances, thinking, how are they going to cope? How will they cope without me there? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? So you're kind of questioning and having these communications with your children. And trust me, I see them saying, hey, Mom, I'm fine. I'll do great. You know, they're ready to go. So that is good. You have already set them very securely up for life with love, faith, trust, independence, and all the things that they needed to have. So then we have the full moon this month here for you. Cancerians will be August 29th. It will be 6 degrees in Pisces. So that's your sister sign. You should come to feel it's a very harmonious full moon, and it will be touching upon Neptune, passing it just within, you know, a couple of degrees. We'll have the conjunction, and then it's going to pass. And having Neptune and the full moon is very spiritual, and it's in your 9th house of spirituality. It's you thinking those higher thoughts, seeing more so the big picture, aligning yourself emotionally, because it's Pisces. You might feel that it's a very emotional full moon for you here on the 29th, but it's a moon that I feel is connecting you to what is important, connecting you to spirit. Some of you might even have the thought of wanting to start to do some research, to start studying some topic, and in that case, I see it would either be within philosophy, metaphysics, spirituality, or also the flip side there, which also Pisces represent, is the creative arts. So that can be dancing, it could be painting, it could be sculpting, something of that, photography or videography, where you can express yourself from a higher vantage point. You're going to love that. Now, so you see, the universe is, when one door closes, say, for those of you who have children moving out now, the new door opens up, and you're going to be filling this room with those talents, skills, and abilities that have always laid deeply within you, that now can start coming up and seeing the day of light. the light of day. I heard that. Anyway, listen, good changes going on for many in your career. Others are still undergoing the big flip change that is Uranus in the 10th house, but not really receiving any negative aspects. In fact, this is a great month for your career with all the trines from Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus here up to your career house from your financial house. So you might just either start new projects. Some of you might get raises or promotions this month. In either case, it should be good. Now, we have planets that are going to be changing signs too this month. Now, Venus is going to be retrograde all month in your 2nd house. So she's going to remain there, help you connect all the dots of your financial picture. Also, of course, love and romance, which Venus also is. It's going to be very playful here while she's in the sign of Leo. Saturn will go direct, as mentioned, on August 2nd, 5th house for creativity, for children, self-expression. For those of you having your own business, you're going to see how your own business is going to start moving forward again, and slowly at first, but then ready to take on some quantum leaps. It's a great time to start adding into new concepts for your business. On the 7th, Mercury will move out of Leo and into the sign of Virgo, which is the 3rd house, and it rules this area. So communication will become that much more pinpointed and strong for you after the 7th. Some of you, especially if you're having any presentations or talks, that kind of thing, you will be very fluid in your communication. Mercury also rules in this area travel. Not necessarily the long distance travel, but just like wanting to skip town, for a weekend or even a day trip. That might become more predominant here through August. The to and fro being busy. On the 8th, like I said, Mars is leaving it's leaving Cancer, your sign, and moving into the sign of Leo. So where you felt very energetic here as of late, this last month here of July, now the focus, it's going to be joining the party of your 2nd house of finances. So you will see that that's going to give you the extra booster rocket that's needed to go in and clear your accounts, the checks and balances. You might feel that there might be some more expenses too. Not just money coming in, but also money going out for good purposes though. And then we have Jupiter leaving this financial area for 12 years before it's going to come back around and move into your 3rd house. Now, after August 11th, not only are you going to get the itch to get out of town, but Jupiter will really want to connect you to long distance travel, journey. We mentioned that. And for you, we're probably back to historical places because you love history. Did mention that. So it's going to be a relatively quiet month, meaning I don't have this whole long list of transits. It's a little slower because we have a lot of the outer planets are all retrograde. Saturn is, well, which will go direct again. But Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they're retrograde. Venus, all month retrograde. So it's kind of slowing down so that we have time to process those things that are important to us, to go through all the questions about what if this and what if that. And being a Cancerian, you have a lot of the what if questions because you would like to secure your path with knowledge, knowing. And so this is a great month for you to do so. Great news coming to you on the 2nd. This is Mercury and Uranus. And it's between your business, your career, and your 2nd house of income. Here could be some good news. And then we have the 4th, a second roundabout here with the conjunction between Venus and Jupiter. Now we had that July 1st. We're getting it again because Venus is retrograde. I call it the cosmic kiss because it's the 2 best planets that we have. Even when Venus is retrograde, she's still, beautiful. It's a fabulous aspect still. And so for you, that also will be in your money house. See what it's going to do for you. On the 3rd, 5th, and 6th, we got a little bit of a challenge. This is Jupiter squaring off on Saturn, Venus is squaring off on Saturn, Mercury is squaring off on Saturn. So something is going to be brought to your attention. I feel a lot of this has to do with your financial situation and children. Maybe they're needing more help, security financially. Okay, school is starting up, colleges are starting up. So you're going to be looking at this, should I say, I won't say oppression because that's not it. It's the security of it. It's you as a parent being called to the forefront, wanting, needing to make sure that they're going to be okay, and they will. They will. Good news here on the 4th that Venus, Jupiter is allowing you to create the security that you know that they need. On the 7th too, you have Mercury and Saturn coming in saying everything is fine. So whatever you're checking those first few days, you will have the good news that everything is exactly where it needs to be. That could be a transfer of money going to exactly where it needed to go. You will have that receipt, that acknowledgement. And then the last 2 weeks, or the last 3 weeks, after the 7th here, you'll start feeling that things are coming together for you. And I see joy and I see happiness. And we have the Sun and Venus, they're conjuncting on the 15th. This is also still in your 2nd house, so that's also good news about money and security, but also love and romance, which Venus also rules. And it should be playful here, Cancerians, because it is Leo. It's in the sign of Leo, so enjoy it. The 19th, we have Sun and Uranus. No, I'm sorry, Venus and Uranus. They're trine. That's a fabulous aspect where you could just feel like wanting to sing and dance and let your hair all hang down. This is, again, something I feel that you've been working towards. It doesn't always have to be the career. Let me tell you why. Even though it's the 10th house, which is, career rules this. But the 10th house is also the midheaven point. Just like the rising sign or your ascendants is the energy you give out to other people and how they, by first impression, will get a read of you. Well, the midheaven is how we see ourselves. The rising sign, how others sees us. The midheaven is how we see ourselves, regardless of what sun sign we're born in. So whenever we have directions to the 10th house, it's also what we and how we see ourselves and what goals we're working towards. Doesn't have to be work, paid work. It could be something you're volunteering for. It could just be goals that you have set for yourself. So when we have a beautiful Venus and Uranus here, well, I feel the values of those things that you believe in and putting your energy towards is going to be very rewarding, whatever that may be for you on the 19th, right? So this is in large what is going on. If you haven't listened to your tarot reading for August, do go and listen to it. I recommend that because we get totally different insights and informations from the tarot than we do from the astrology. And yet, the magical point is you'll see how they all really intertwine and how they blend. So it's just additional information. So have a wonderful month of August and do enjoy.